Okay, welcome everybody. We're going to be doing a slightly extended practice instead of the usual 2 practices today. I'm going to do a longer, sort of maybe 30-minute practice based around a body scan and focusing on the theme of stillness and using the stillness around us and focusing on the body and rejoining the body-mind connection when we can so easily get lost in thought and busyness, and especially with the build up to Christmas. So I invite you to find a comfortable posture, whichever feels right for you today, either lying down or seated, maybe having some blankets or cushions around you. And if you feel comfortable in doing so, just allowing the eyes to gently close or lowering your gaze if you prefer. And just focusing on somewhere in front of you. And we'll just take some time to begin, just to allow the mind and the body to settle away from the busyness of your morning, whatever you've been doing today. Just allowing you to come to the practice and just settle into some kind of stillness as everything begins to quieten down. Maybe taking 1 or 2 deeper breaths just to allow the body to settle and to sink. And with the exhale, just allowing gravity to take over and let the body sink into the surface beneath. And I invite you to begin to become aware of the stillness that surrounds you right now as we enter this practice. Beginning with the stillness of the earth, the ground beneath us supporting our bodies as we rest here together. And that connects us all together as we're practicing today. And sensing into the stillness of the room that you're in and the space surrounding you. And the stillness of that room within the building that you're in. Again, resting on the stillness of the earth. And sensing into the stillness of silence that surrounds us. Noticing that sounds do come and go on their own. We have no control over them, like the sound of my voice. And around those sounds, noticing the stillness of silence as it comes and goes throughout the practice. And I invite you to begin to notice the stillness of the body as we rest here, supported by the stillness of the earth. And feeling the weight of the body as we're resting here together. And the weight of the feet. And the pressure in the body where it's resting on the surface beneath. The backs of the legs. The backs of the thighs and sit bones. The lower back and all the way up the spine, across the shoulders. And noticing where the head is resting, whether it's resting freely on the head and shoulders, or if it's gently resting against a cushion or a headrest. And sensing into the weight of the body through those pressure points. And taking a moment to notice the gentle movement of the breath in the body, the ebb and flow, the gentle rhythm as we breathe in, breathe out, a dependable anchor for our attention whenever needed. Just noticing it wherever is most prominent for you today, maybe in the abdomen or the chest. Or through wherever you're breathing, through the nostrils or through the mouth. And as we begin to move through this embodied awareness practice, as the stillness settles around us, see if you can allow it to invite the wandering mind into stillness. Maybe surround any distracting thoughts with the space and the stillness of our awareness, and then let them go and come back to the practice, back to the body. I invite you now to bring your awareness down to the feet, sensing into the physical presence of both feet, feeling them just where they are right now, sensing into the toes, whether they're touching each other, spaced apart, and the balls of the feet, and the soles of the feet, and the heels. And the skin around the feet. Noticing any and all sensations that might be here to hold your attention today. Maybe they feel cold, maybe they feel warm. And feeling the weight of the feet wherever they're resting. And then moving up into the ankles. Allowing any sensation that's here to hold your attention. Even if that's only the weight of your ankles resting against the surface beneath. And scanning up into the lower legs, noticing the calves and the muscles within the tissue, the shin bones. And sensing into the skin surrounding all these parts of the lower leg. Noticing if you can feel your clothing touching the skin. Allowing any sensation to be here to hold your awareness in stillness, away from a wandering mind. Bringing it back to the practice, back to the body, as often as you need to. Moving up into the knees, sensing into the kneecaps and deep into the knee joint. Noticing if there's any tension or softness, any heat, any cold. Even if the sensations become a little unpleasant, just allowing them to be here, welcoming them, and accepting them as your experience today, right now. And scanning up into the thighs, feeling the density of the thighs, the weight of the thighs, wherever they're resting, against the chair or the floor. And the skin around the front and the back. And sensing deep into the thighs, the bones, the tissue, the muscles, the tendons. Maybe taking a moment to offer gratitude to these muscles and this tissue that works so hard to support us every day. Offering it this time to rest. And moving into the hips. Again, sensing deep into the hip bones and all the muscles around here that work hard every day to support you as you move through your day. And taking a moment to sense into the whole of both legs, from the hip bones all the way down to the big toes, the whole of the lower part of the body. And any time during this practice, if the mind is wandering, if emotions are coming in, just allowing them to be here and coming back to the stillness we mentioned before. If you need to, just come back to the stillness of the earth, the stillness of the room that you're resting in, the stillness of the silence that comes and goes, and the stillness of the body. Allowing the stillness of our awareness to see the thoughts that come in and the emotions, and then let them move on, just for now, for this time. And bring your awareness now to the pelvis area, holding your awareness with the stillness of the body that's here, and any sensations that are calling out to you, even if it's just the weight of the pelvis against the surface beneath, and nothing more. Maybe there's some warmth or cold. And moving up into the lower back. Noticing what's here for you today in this moment. Any tension or discomfort? Or is it relaxed? Really sensing into the stillness of the body as we give us this time to rest. And then begin to scan your awareness up the spine, just slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Noticing as you go all the different areas, whether they feel the same, whether there's any difference in sensation. Whether the back is resting against the surface or sitting freely. Maybe noticing any clothing against the skin. Do you scan all the way up to the shoulders? all across the top of the shoulders and deep into the shoulder joints. Maybe you notice gentle rise and fall of the shoulders as you breathe, and gentle rhythm. And beginning to scan your awareness ever so gently down the length of both arms, starting with the upper arms, taking in the muscles, the tendons, the skin surrounding the upper arms. All the way down to the elbows, and sensing deep into the elbow joints, noticing if they're resting against the body or the floor. And scanning down the length of the lower arms, all the way down to the wrists and into the hands. And feeling the weight of the hands wherever they're resting. Are they touching each other? Are they spaced apart? Sensing into the palms and the fingers and the thumb. Are they warm or cold? Is there any tingling here? And taking a moment to sense into the whole of both arms, from the tops of the shoulders all the way down to the fingertips. And allowing the stillness of the body to hold your attention away from wandering thoughts. And always knowing you can come back to the stillness of the earth where we're resting as an anchor. And the stillness of the room where you're resting. And the stillness of silence as it comes and goes. And the stillness of our awareness as we move our attention from one part of the body to the next. In openness, in spaciousness. And always coming back to the stillness of the body, nurturing the mind-body connection as we rest here together. And bringing our awareness now up to the neck, the back of the neck, from in between the shoulder blades, and scanning gently up the back of the neck to the back of the head. And noticing the back of the scalp and the hair follicles. Is there any pressure from where the head is resting? Moving up to the crown of the head. And sensing into any tension, any softness as we begin to gently scan down the length of the face, starting with the brow. Just noticing what's here, not trying to change anything. Into the eyebrows. And sensing into the eye sockets and the eyeballs. And maybe taking a moment here to engage your sense of sight behind your eyelids if they're closed. And just gazing into the darkness behind the lids, noticing if there's any shapes or colours coming through. Beginning to scan down the length of the nose, all the way to the tip of the nostrils. If you're breathing through the nose, taking a moment to notice the movement of air. And noticing the coolness coming in and the warmth as it leaves, if that's your experience. Scanning down the length of both cheeks, from the cheekbones down to the mouth. And sensing inside the mouth, and noticing where the tongue is resting. Just noticing any and all sensation, whether there's tension, whether you're feeling cool or warm. Just the physical presence alone is enough to hold our attention. And moving to the jaw, starting with the chin and scanning around the jaw all the way up to the ears. And taking some time here to engage your hearing, listening to any sounds that are coming and going, or just sitting for a moment with the stillness of silence. And then bringing your awareness to scan down the neck at the front, down the throat. If it feels comfortable, taking time here to follow the journey of the breath as it travels in through the mouth or the nose, down through the throat, down into the chest, filling the lungs. Maybe feeling the movement of clothing against the skin. And scanning down into the belly, into the abdomen. And holding your awareness here for a moment, just following the gentle rhythm of the breath. And I now invite you to become aware of sensation in the whole of the body, from the top of the head all the way down to the tip of the toes, any and all sensation that's here for you today. Maybe just the weight of the body, the pressure, maybe just the temperature, maybe just the areas of tension are calling out to you. And if it feels comfortable to do so, maybe letting go of the shape of the body as we rest here with sensation alone. Softening the edges, letting go of the shape of the head, the shoulders, the arms, the torso, the hips, the legs, the feet, as if resting our awareness in a cloud of sensation, surrounded by the stillness of the earth and the stillness of the space we're resting in. in the stillness of silence. And I invite you now to come back to the physical presence of the body, feeling the weight of the body resting against the surface beneath. And as you rest here for a moment before we bring this meditation to a close, I just wanted to read a very short passage from an article that inspired me to do this practice today, an article called Feeling Our Way to Awakening from a website called Lion's Roar. And this short passage goes like this. The emotional body is an entry point into any illusion, any belief, anything that can cause a sense of separation. Zazen is the practice of coming back down to earth. And coming down to earth is not easy. We don't always arrive intact. We've been living in our heads for a long time, perhaps lifetimes. And now we are being called from every direction to re-inhabit the bodies we've left behind. The whole body comes along. We can't awaken from the neck up. We must awaken the whole body-mind. As Dogen tells us, when we see forms and hear sounds with the whole body and mind, unreservedly, we will understand. When we do that, we will remember who we are. So as we begin to bring this meditation to its end today, I just invite you to maybe introduce some very gentle movement, having a stretch, whatever it is that you need to bring yourself around from the meditation. Maybe covering your face with your hands before you open your eyes to let the light back in gently. And then in your own time, coming back to the group.